Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theravada Buddhism series, Dharma talk number 13. Today's topic is breath meditation and its relation to insight meditation. Breath meditation can be found in Pali Canon and commentaries, scriptures. Also many self-styled writers had written many articles on it. But please do depend on the scriptural version of Anapanasati so that you are sure you are on the right track. I don't usually talk about this breath meditation because I practice pure Vipassana, Satipatthana Vipassana. However, a few online yogis requested to give a talk on this subject. A brief presentation of Anapanasati Sutta will be discussed, and its practical approach to Vipassana will be presented here in this talk. Mindfulness of breathing can be applied to develop both concentration as well as insight. It is an individual choice which approach one wants to go, samatha line or vipassana line, concentration line or insight line. It is an individual choice. Mindfulness of breathing is used as concentration meditation to attain jhana, absorption, and abhinya, psychical power. Buddha had taught us 16 places to observe and develop noble concentration associated with the in-breath, out-breath meditation. It's always associated with in-breath, out-breath, but there are 16 different places to put along with it. One must observe the nature of the breath such as long breath or short breath. Also, one must observe the beginning, the middle, and the end of the breath. And also coming down of the gross nature of the breath. And also its association with joy, rapture, happiness, sukha, and mental activities, sankhara, and coming down of it, coming down, settling down to become settled. And also four ways association with the mind, how the breath in, breath out, breath association with the mind, and also four ways association to the world of, let's call it impermanence, sankhara world. Those are the 16 different places to put your in-breath and out-breath upon. And also, Buddha taught us in that Anapanasati Sutta 8 techniques on how to practice breath meditation. Depending on your objective, you may choose a certain technique of the 8 or a combination of it. The counting method is widely used for samatha, concentration meditation. You count your breath slowly first, from 1 to 5. In breath 1, out breath 1. In breath 2, out breath 2, up to 5. And then 1 to 6. Then 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 9, 1 to 10. And then back to 1 to 5. That's a counting method. And also, some of the yogis follow the breath that traverses through the body. Let's see, at first at the nose, and then to the heart level, and then to the stomach level. The air goes in and the airs come out from your tummy to the heart and to the nose. You follow the breath. That's another technique. And also, some observe the touch sensation at the tip of the nostril. That's also quite popular. And some at the tip of the upper lips. People with long noses felt more distinct at the nostril. People with short nose felt more distinct at the tip of the upper lip. And also, let's call it placing and tied up with the object. In other words, you use force, power, control to keep the breath on the object deliberately, forcefully. That's called absorption method. And also focusing on the three characteristics of mind and matter, and so on. And a combination of all the techniques about in a way that your objective is, whether samatha or vipassana. You all know what vipassana is, the three characteristics. If you are doing the samatha technique, you don't touch that technique. You touch the others described before. And this Anapanasati, it produces temporary abandonment of mental defilements, kilesa. It doesn't abandon permanently, completely, just temporary, some very short period, and some people very good and experienced. It seems like it has left 3 months, a year, as long as you keep up with it regularly. But you must keep on practicing it to keep the mental defilements away. And also to achieve supernormal power. Those are the result of this Anapanasati and a samatha line. Now we are going to connect this Anapanasati with Vipassana, breath meditation with insight meditation. A yogi can practice this Anapanasati in breath-out breath meditation till you attain jhana first. And then you must practice that you become very skillful with jhana, which means you can get into jhana in a very short period and get out of jhana at will with the predetermined time set period. That means you are very skillful, you are master. You can get in quickly, get out exactly when you want it. You have to practice that first. You must be skillful with it. Then, using that ability, yogi must observe and practice repeatedly and observe repeatedly the disappearance of the jhanic consciousness. You get into jhana, you are with the jhanic consciousness. You get out of the jhana, at that moment, jhanic consciousness disappear. That what one must be observing, the disappearance of the jhanic consciousness. And you exercise that again and again and again and again, the disappearance of the jhanic consciousness. You can only observe it when you come out of the absorption. And if you repeatedly keep on doing it, eventually the three characteristics of mind and matter will unfold and attain liberation. And that is called Vipassana preceded by Samatha. Okay? You practice Samatha meditation first, you master it, and then you switch into Vipassana, simply observing the disappearance or dissolution of jhanic consciousness. So that is one technique. The first one is pure concentration method, samatha, with in-breath, out-breath, dutain, peace, temporary abandonment of kilesa, and possibly psychical power. This one is Vipassana preceded by Samatha technique is to eliminate all form of suffering and attain Nibbana. Okay, so you still practice breath meditation separately, and then using the disappearance of the jhanic consciousness, practice Vipassana. And also, Vipassana meditation using Anapanasati as a tool. In other words, you don't practice till you attain jhana. You don't practice breath meditation till you attain jhana, because it will take a long, long time. Or you might not even achieve it before you die in this life. That means you have lost the opportunity to practice Vipassana. So, to talk about it, using breath meditation as a tool to practice Vipassana, we need to know a few definitions, or you can say a few Dharma concepts before we start it. The first one, touching. Touch. Touching is a Dhamma object. When we say touching, first of all, you must understand it involves an external object. External object that could be physical or mental. That external object touching or come in contact with the internal object, which is sensitivity, physical. You remember sensitivity? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. Those are the sensitivity. Touching involves the body sensitivity. You must understand it involves external object, internal object, and awareness of the touch. Three things. That's called touching. Dhamma object. When one breathes in and out, it involves air. Air. That is an external object. And the air touches the nostril. Nostril is the internal object, sensitivity. And the mind that comes to know that touch. Because the mind cannot know or experience the air unless it touches the body. The air is all around. The mind don't know air all around. It only knows when it touches the body. So those three things, and that is an operation. Breath, nostril, awareness of the body at the nostril. When you breathe it, the air physically touches the tip of the nostril or the upper lip. These points are body sensitivity, nostril, upper lip, internal material object. That's where the touch sensation arises. And the mind that knows the touch is mental. So these concepts must be clearly understood. When you say in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath, you must see this diagram with clarity. Focusing on air or focusing on nostril is paying attention to concept. The air is a concept, viññāti. Nostril is a concept, viññāti. If you pay attention on it, the air or the nostril, you are paying attention to viññāti, concept. Concepts are object of samatha meditation. However, feeling of touch is reality, paramattha. Feeling of touch or touching is reality, paramattha dhamma. And we all know what is the object of Vipassana. The object of Vipassana is reality. The object of Vipassana is paramattha. The object of samatha is concept. The object of samatha is viññāti. These are the definitions one must clearly understood. So it is quite obvious now, the yogi must focus on the feeling of touch or the touch sensation. Now you are practicing is Vipassana, using breath meditation as a tool. You must focus on the touch sensation or feeling of touch. Then only it will become Vipassana, because touching is paramattha, reality. But when you are doing so, at the same time, you are still counting. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, up and down, 5 to 10. And then 5 to 10, 5 to 10. You are still counting that touch, how many times. Counting gives you the sharp awareness whether your mind drifted away or not, or you are sticking constantly there. That's the purpose of the counting. If you miss the series of counting, then you know you're being drifted out. So you're counting, and at the same time, you must pay attention to the beginning of the touch, the middle of the touch, and the end of the touch. Okay? In other words, very detail must be known. The moment of the touch at the nostril with the air, and then it carries on a little bit, and finally it ends. Those three parts must be clearly observed, clearly mindful. Special attention must be paid to the end, the dissolution. Special attention. That's one of the key points. The solution, the end. Focus the touch at the nostril. Okay. Because nostril is the body sensitivity. Focus the touch at the nostril. And refining the breath, or you can say refining the sensation of touch from the gross nature to the subtle nature. All these are in this process, in this meditation. We call it Vipassana, but still counting is a Anapanasati. Following from beginning to the end is a Anapanasati. And then coming down from the gross to the subtle is Anapanasati. These are the Anapanasati tools. They are all there, even though you are observing the touch sensation. Anapanasati technique, in-breath, out-breath, meditation techniques are still in operation, except the mind is inclined to the object of reality, not on the conceptual object, such as air or the nostril, physical rupa aspect of it. The object must be reality, paramattha, touching. That's it. That's a switch. Experience of a touch of breath. Okay, you are observing the touch sensation of breath. And when you are mindful with proper breath meditation technique, you will feel hot, cold. You can feel the movement. You can feel the vibration. You can feel gross nature of touch and slowly become very subtle nature of touch. These will be unfolding. What is that? That is Mahabhuta, 4 great elements of Rupa, materiality. So what are we doing at that moment? We are practicing Kaya Nupassana, mindfulness of the body. Okay, we are practicing Anapanasati, but we are unfolding the 4 great elements because we are practicing mindfulness of the body. Note all these things, hot, cold, gross, subtle, and so on. Note everything. When they arise, be aware, be aware, be aware sharply. Be aware only. Do not reflect on it. Do not think about it. Do not connect it with theory. Simply be aware of hot, cold, long, short, gross, subtle. Don't reflect, don't think. Anapanasati, mindfulness of the body. And then there are also, you are discovering so many things and you feel very pleasant, because when the touch becomes so subtle, refined, the pleasant sensation arises. Know the pleasant sensation. Or there might be a pain because of the back pain, knee pain, unpleasant sensation. Know that, be aware of it. What are you doing? You are practicing mindfulness of the feeling, Vedana-nupassana. You're feeling happiness. You're feeling blissful, pleasant feeling. Mindfulness of the feeling, Vedana-nupassana. You don't have to go and think that way. Right now, it's explained and you must understood these things clearly. But when you are in the mode of meditation, no thinking, no reflecting, simply experiencing, experiencing, experiencing. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling. And once you got to that very pleasant, happy, blissful feeling, slowly and slowly, the breath itself becomes imperceptible. You can't even detect it, imperceptible. And the breath becomes imperceptible. What happens is the touch or the feeling of touch also become imperceptible. You can't detect the touch anymore. So it seems like there's no touching. And it seems like there's the knowing because of the sati, mindfulness. But there's nothing to know. There's no object to know because touching is so fine, imperceptible, can't detect. There's no object to know. So it seems like there's only knowing. There's only knowing, but nothing to know. At that moment, be mindful. The key word is be mindful of the fact of knowing. Be mindful of the knowing. Be mindful of the knowing mind. In other words, mindful mind, observing the knowing mind. Mind. What is it? Citta Nupassana, mindfulness of the mind. Rupa Nupassana, Vedana Nupassana, Citta Nupassana. All in there. It's unfolding. You are practicing as Buddha taught. You are experiencing. But you are practicing Anapanasati. But using the objects, Paramattha object, reality. During this whole process, you are practicing Anapanasati with the Paramattha object. Pain will arise during this process at different stages. Thoughts will arise, mental activities. Feeling of gladdening will arise, gladdening of mind, joy, rapture, piti, bliss, happiness, sukha, and also all sort of signs. I won't go into detail how the signs are manifest. When you experience it, you will know. All the signs will arise. During this process, while you are meditating, these will arise. Note each and every one of them. Pay attention to each and every one of them till they disappear. But the key thing is, don't block them. Don't push them away. If you block and push them away, it becomes samatha, concentration, meditation. If you don't block them, if you don't push them away, observe till they disappear. From the moment they arise till they disappear. That is Vipassana. You embrace everything at the moment, at the present moment, whatever it is, with full awareness. Then once they disappear, go back to the touch sensation at the nostril, created by the breath meditation, Anapanasati. Make your concentration stronger. How? By picking up every object of arising at the moment. If you can pick up every object of arising at the moment, your concentration becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And also you can make your insight, Vipassana, stronger. How? By observing the object ever more deeply and penetratively, which means not superficially. From the superficiality into deep penetrative observation, create stronger insight, stronger Vipassana. Then the three characteristic, anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering or dissatisfaction, and anatta, non-self, no soul, will unfold by itself if you are practicing exactly as it should be. Eventually there remains only two Dhamma. Rupa Dhamma. What is Rupa Dhamma? Touch, sensation, touching. The touching of external object and internal object. But in here is simply touch sensation, nothing else. Pure touching, pure touch sensation. Rupa Dhamma. And the pure awareness of that touching, Nama Dhamma. Just purely aware of this touch sensation, nothing else. Nama Dhamma. Two Dhamma, Rupa Dhamma and Nama Dhamma. But there's no I, there's no self, there's no soul. You will experience it. You don't have to tell or think or interpret or figure out. At that moment, two phenomena are in operation. Rupa Dhamma in operation, Nama Dhamma in operation. And that is the complete picture. No I, no self, no soul. And finally, cessation of both Dhamma, cessation of mind and matter. That's the end of it. Cessation of the both Dhamma, Nama and Rupa Dhamma, or mind and matter. So, with this practice, one can attain path wisdom, Megha Jnana, in this very life. And if you don't attain path wisdom in this very life, you have accumulated a great parami. For the next life. And that is how Vipassana is practiced, using Anapanasati as a tool. In a pure Vipassana, we focus on the movement of the abdomen created by breath. So, actually the only difference is the focusing point. Anapanasati, focus at the tip of the nostril. Mahasi tradition, focus on the abdomen created by breath. It's the same. The air, the breath, the focus point, the focal point is different. But with the abdomen, you cannot attain jhana. With the abdomen, you cannot get into psychical power, but purely straight into Vipassana. With the breath, you can go both lines. Choose what you like. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness and sight meditation, and may you be able to attain path wisdom, fruition wisdom, and total liberation from all form of suffering as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.